Yo, what is up? Noah here, Cobra Kai Karate here, whatever you want to talk, whatever you want to call me. Today, we are settling the GOAT debate of the quarterback position. Now, first off, I want to say the GOAT debate, I think, is kind of ridiculous, especially when they only value quarterback. People say only the quarterback is the GOAT of the NFL. I think Lawrence Taylor is the GOAT of football, Jerry Rice. There's a lot of other positions than just quarterback, but in the quarterback conversation, I do not think it's Tom Brady. I do not think it's Peyton Manning. I think it is Aaron Rodgers. If you're having a debate about pure talent, it is him, and it's not even close. We're just gonna get right into this right away. Obviously, we just gotta appreciate Tom Brady's accomplishments before we even begin. Tom Brady, 7 Super Bowls, more Super Bowls than any team in NFL history. Leads the league in passing yards all time. Leads the league in passing touchdowns all time, and most of the stats are not even close. All that stuff is great. 3 MVPs also. But let's talk about
Aaron Rodgers. 4 MVPs, 2 of them being back-to-back. Let's just talk about his MVP seasons real quick. His first MVP in 2011, 45 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. 45 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. And then his second MVP in 2014, 38 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. And if you actually look at what actually happened, 4 of the interceptions were not even his fault. Only 1 interception all season was his fault. That is crazy. And then we got 2020, 48 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. And then the back-to-back 2021, 37 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So he has more MVPs than Brady while playing like 4 or 5 less seasons. And also, let's also not forget he is a
Super Bowl champion. Also, 59,000 passing yards. And all that's great. Now, people say that doesn't even come close to Brady. That's like, I don't know, 30,000 less more passing yards. How could he even debate this? Well, let's get right into the stats, everybody. So I want to talk about their stats in their first, compared to the games. Aaron Rodgers played a career game of 231 games. Obviously, Tom Brady played a lot more than that. And we're going to compare their stats compared to that games. So let's get right into it. So in Tom Brady's first 231 games compared to, Aaron Rodgers' career 231 games, he has 59,943 passing yards. Aaron Rodgers, 59,055. So he does have 900 more passing yards. That's good. Let's get into these real stats right now. Tom Brady, 444 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers, 475, so about 30 more touchdowns. What about interceptions? This is a big one. Tom Brady of 251, Aaron Rodgers with 105. That is almost 50 less interceptions. Passer rating, he has a 103. Well, Tom Brady has a 96. Well, how about rushing yard? Tom Brady, we all know he's the second coming of Michael Vick. He has a solid 876 rushing yards and 17 rushing touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers, 3,466 rushing yards and 35 touchdowns. He has almost like 7 times or 6 more times more rushing yards than him. And he has about double the rushing touchdowns. So there's that. Now let's talk about Tom Brady's last 231 games. By the way, these stats took me a long time to calculate, so yeah. But let's talk about his last games. And I will admit, these are a lot better. His last 231 games are a lot better. 64,000 passing yards. That's about 5,000 more than Aaron Rodgers. 489 passing touchdowns, about 10 more than Aaron Rodgers. Interceptions, still not better than Aaron Rodgers. There's 129 compared to 105, but it is a lot closer. And then obviously the rushing yards not getting any better. It's like 688 compared to like his 3,000. Then the passer rating is 100.2, as he is still 100.3. So I think it is still very close, and I'm going to give Aaron Rodgers the slight edge of that because of how much less interceptions he has. But let's go into other stats because we already know what people are going to say. Well, he chokes in the playoffs. But he chokes in the playoffs. He only has 1 Super Bowl. He's been to 4 NFC championships, only when he won 1 and 3 in the championships. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. Let's get right into these playoff stats. So Aaron Rodgers played a 22 playoff games. Let's take Tom Brady's first 22 playoff games. Let's compare this real quick. All right, so Tom Brady, first 22 playoff games with 5,285 passing yards compared to Aaron Rodgers' 6,976 passing yards, over 1,000 plus more passing yards. Tom Brady, 38 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers, 45 touchdowns. That is, I think, 7 more touchdowns. And then here's another one. Interceptions. Tom Brady, 20. Aaron Rodgers, 18. So he has 2 less interceptions, more touchdowns, more passing yards. And here's another one that I think you guys are going to like a lot. He was sacked 55 times in the playoff, while Tom Brady was sacked 39. So there's that. Now, this is a big thing I want to talk about too. The defense. Who had a better defense? So here's Aaron Rodgers' stats. This is how much defense allowed in his 14 seasons as a starter. Not including the Jets, obviously, because he wasn't playing that season. It is 5,739 points allowed by the defense. Tom Brady's first 14 seasons was 4,859. That is 1,100 less more points that Tom Brady had to come back from. You understand that? Like, you just imagine how impactful that is. How easy it was. How much more easy it was for him to win. And we're going to get into the weapons and how much weapons they had in a little bit. 1,000 less. And how about the last 14 seasons of his career? It's basically the exact same as 4,878. So about 20 more points. Still not even close to the 5,700 that defense that he had to have. But let's get into our next thing. Another thing I want to talk about, I know a lot of people are going to say it. It's the NFC Championship game. Aaron Rodgers is so bad in the NFC Championship game. And I will admit, he was. Let's look at Aaron Rodgers' stats in the NFC Championship. 1,341 passing yards. This is in 4 NFC championships. The 4 NFC championships he was in was 1,300 passing yards, 8 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. 8 touchdowns, 9 interceptions is not good. I'll admit that is awful. But let's look at Thomas Brady. Let's look at his first 4 AFC championships. 791 passing yards. That's about 500 less passing yards and 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. So he has 4 less touchdowns, but also 5 less interceptions. But he has the exact same amount of touchdowns and interceptions. That is not a good look. But let's look at his next 4 AFC championships. So let's forget the first 4. Let's go on to the next 4 because he was in a lot of championships. So the next 4 it's a bit of an improvement. He has 1,045 passing yards. That's still 300 less than what Rodgers did. And Tom Brady fans, you might want to plug your ears. 4 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. My brother, 4 touchdowns, 7 interceptions compared to 8 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and 300 more passing yards. Oh, but he chokes in the championship game. Now, I'll tell you why he won that game. He threw 0 touchdowns and 3 interceptions in the Chargers game, and they still went to the Super Bowl. That wasn't until Eli Manning absolutely exposed them in the Super Bowl, which I know Aaron Rodgers lost to Eli Manning in the NFC Championship. I mean, the divisional in 2011, but that's beyond the point. That is embarrassing. Now, I will admit, his next championship games do get better. 9 for 3, 9 for 5. But I don't think that is enough to excuse of this stuff, because now we got to go into the other debate, the weapons debate, about who had the better weapons. Well, let's look at who did Aaron Rodgers have in his career offensively. Let's see here. Jordy Nelson, who's a solid receiver. Davante Adams, even though you only had him for 4 years, 5 years. That's it. Can you guys name anyone else? At least an elite players. He has solid receivers, but an actual elite receivers. Jordy Nelson, he's borderline elite, and then Davante Adams obviously was amazing. But that was only 4 or 5 seasons. So that's what he had. Let's look at what Tom Brady had from the beginning of his career. Deion Branch, who was Super Bowl MVP. Wes Walker. Julian Edelman, who was also Super Bowl MVP. Gronk. Randy Moss. Goes to Tampa Bay, gets Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown. My gosh. And so you only had Randy Moss for 3 seasons, but that's the exact same amount of time that around the exact same time that Aaron Rodgers had Davante Adams. And let's keep in mind that Randy Moss was way better than Davante Adams. I think he topped the second best wide receiver in NFL history. Right side by obviously Jerry Rice. And then you also had Gronk, who was the greatest tight end by far, not even close, not even in the debate. So when I hear of all the weapons he had, a better offensive line, which did I say the career sacks? I don't think I said that yet. I got to tell you this. I said the playoff sacks. How about career sacks, NFL? Okay, so yeah, in the 231 games Aaron Rodgers played, he was sacked 523 times. Tom Brady's 231 games, 417. That is 100 plus less sacks he took. That is diabolical. And if you're doing that with a better offensive line, a better defense, way better weapons, and also, hell, a better coach. I mean, you really think that Mike McCarthy is better than the greatest coach of all time, Bill Belichick? At least a top 5. If people can say that debate, Belichick made him. I don't really buy into that. Obviously, Belichick didn't end his career so well, but let's not keep in mind that he won 2 Super Bowls at the defensive coordinator for the Giants. He's one of the greatest defensive mind of all time. And let's also not keep in mind that Brady was not that good in Michigan. And when he comes over here and he develops under him, he instilled that mentality. I think Brady is nothing without Belichick, and Belichick is nothing without Brady, or at least not to the extent that they got to. I think both of them helped each other out. But in any way, Belichick was way more better coach than Mike McCarthy. That's not even a debate. Whether you think Belichick's overrated or not. And I didn't want to get into this, but I will. Can we just talk about the cheating scandals real quick? And people can say they're fake, they're not. They are real. And people want to deny it because Tom Brady's like the poster boy. It happened. You want to talk about the Spygate from 2003 or 2002 all the way to 2007 when they caught him. Belichick was confirmed because they got their first round pick taken away because they knew it was real. He was spying on people, spying on their playbooks. You know how much that impacted Tom Brady? I mean, Tom Brady knew almost identical what the defense was doing. And isn't it funny that he wins 3 Super Bowls? He goes to 4 Super Bowls, goes undefeated one season, wins 3 Super Bowls when they had that Spygate going on. But after they catch him, they wouldn't win another Super Bowl for another 10 years. And that wasn't until they had freaking Gronk, Julian Edelman, and who else did they have? Oh yeah, Darrelle Revis, one of the greatest corners of all time. And they shouldn't have even won that Super Bowl because the Seahawks had them by the neck and was about to win it. But, they made the dumbest call of all time. And then also, how about this? The Deflategate, which people say it's fake, say it's not fake. Whether Brady did it or not, whether it's intentional or not, it was confirmed that the balls were deflated, and it was true. And were the Patriots probably would have won that game either way? Maybe, but that is still something because Andrew Luck was amazing that season. And but that's all whatever. Because yes, Brady would go on to win 4 more Super Bowls, but let's be honest, in those 4 Super Bowls, the team were stacked, and I find it a bit funny. In 2018, when they're playing the Rams in the Super Bowl, when Gronk was not injured and he couldn't play in that Super Bowl, they only put up 13 points that game, and they only won that Super Bowl because their defense let the 2018 Rams, with Todd Gurley, with Jared Goff, to 3 points in the whole game. And he also did not win Super Bowl MVP that season. Super Bowl MVP, that was Julian Edelman, because he didn't really do crap that game. And then also, when Gronk retires in 2019, he loses in the wild card to the Titans, to Ryan Tannehill, when the last play of the game was him throwing a pick 6. You find that a bit ironic? And then, oh yes, he would go win the Super Bowl next year with the Buccaneers, when it had literally the most stacked team I've ever seen in my whole life. And I also find it a bit more funny that Baker Mayfield, he sucked on the Panthers, he sucked on the Rams, but he goes over to the Bucs, and that team is half as good as it was when Brady was on it, and he plays better than Brady did last year, and he's playing amazing, almost got him to an NFC championship. So now that I say all this, guys, we looked at what he's done, what Aaron Rodgers has done in the position he's been in. If you compare the stats from any period of Tom Brady's career compared to how many times he played, his stats are better. Maybe the second games are not better. I think about even if you consider the weapons he had. He had Gronk, he had a way better offensive line, a way better defense, just way better everything. And Aaron Rodgers still was amazing. So I think if Aaron Rodgers was in the exact same position as Tom Brady, what all the way from 2001, having Belichick, having cheating scandals, which make the defensive plays. Whether it was having Gronk, having Randy Moss. Can you imagine Aaron Rodgers with Gronk and Randy Moss? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine Aaron Rodgers when the most accurate passer of all time? If he knew for about 5-6 years exactly what the defense was doing, like, my gosh, I think he would have had about 4 to 5 Super Bowls by now. Because it's not like he's not clutch. I just realized that I just showed stats to prove that he's more clutch than Brady. So I think Aaron Rodgers' career was set back because obviously from the beginning of his career, he was on the bench for 3 years. He had to go for injuries. He, missed the whole 2017 season. Obviously this season, he missed the whole season. And he just had bad luck. Team's not been there for him. He had a coach that doesn't get him any weapons and also doesn't cheat. And I think if you look at the stats, and I think the stats prove if he was in the exact same position as Tom Brady, he would surpass him in every single career stat. And I believe that. And I believe if you're having a discussion about talent and who's actually the greatest, it's hands down Aaron Rodgers. And if you want to give it to accomplishments, who's more impactful, who had a better mentality, all that other stuff, I'll give it all to Brady. And I'm not saying Brady's a bad quarterback at all. I mean, what I'm trying to say is there's no pass that Aaron Rodgers can make that Brady can make that Aaron Rodgers can't. Show me one pass where he can make that Aaron Rodgers can't. But I could show you many plays and many things that Aaron Rodgers can do that Brady can't. For example, running to the sideline, being more mobile. He's not a pocket passer. He can run to the sideline, throw a 30-yard pass on 3rd and 20, and complete a pass in the divisional against the Cowboys. And people say he got bailed out of the game because Dez didn't catch it, and he actually did catch it. I don't give a damn. We know Aaron Rodgers would have ran down that field anyway and got a touchdown because that's what he does. And I think Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback of all time. And at least that's in my eyes. I think if for the public to accept this, he either has to win another MVP or another Super Bowl. But yeah, my top 5 quarterbacks consist of number 1, at least now, number 1 Aaron Rodgers, number 2 Brady, number 3 Manning, number 4 Breeze, number 5 Montana. I think Montana is definitely obviously overrated. I mean, he has 40,000 passing yards, not even like half of the guys ahead of him. And obviously he kind of stinked up in Kansas City after he didn't have, Jerry Rice. But I'm not trying to diss on Joe Montana, but I think he's just more clutch, more accomplishments than actual talent. Because everyone, I know everyone says, if it's 4th down and it's a game it's a game when you drive to save your life at the 4th quarter, I want Joe Montana. I would agree with you on that, but not every single play is the 4th quarter with the game on the line. It's just simple passes that he kind of failed in for most of his career, especially in Kansas City. But I don't know why I'm even yapping about that. There's my proof. I didn't come on here. There's not a bias. By the way, I am a Giants and I am a Vikings fan. There is no reason in hell I should be wanting him to be the greatest, because I was there in 2016 when he whooped us in the wild card because Odell Beckham Jr. forgot to catch. And obviously, me as a part of a Vikings fan, he hasn't been so kind to us either. Which, by the way, Aaron Rodgers, please come to the Vikings. You can do what Brett Favre did. Go to the Jets, go to the Vikings. It'll be awesome. Yo, Jefferson, you'll be great. Do it. But anyway, this is not biased. It is complete facts. And I believe he's the greatest quarterback of all time. And I hope you'll watch this video and I hope you'll change their mind. And if you guys don't have it at number 1, at least give him respect to putting it at number 2. But that's what I have for that. Let me know what you guys think about this. Peace out.